Welcome back everyone to episode 40 of Let's Play Advanced Tactics Gold. Episode 40 is usually the number I cap out on, but I think we'll push this series just a little bit beyond, because I'm actually having a very good time, and I think capturing Beirut and Cologne, that'll kind of bring this series to a close. Because if you think about the map, if you think about it in terms of enemy production capability, neglecting the factories, which is massive number and just keeps growing, unfortunately. But if you think of like city production values, once we capture Beirut and Cologne, the only AI with any production capability from a city is going to be Russia. So I think that at that point we can probably call our victory more or less complete. From the strategic map, just to refresh you guys once again, we're at 21 victory points. That's out of 36, so we're already over 50%. And securing Cologne would put us up to, well, probably we'll have Beirut, which is 22, and then Cologne would put us up to 26. We'd be at 26 out of 36. I mean, that's a substantial lead, so. Well, let's get to the action. What do we want to do in this turn? Well, I'm kind of rephrasing, I'm kind of rethinking about the way I want to do things. I want to go out for like an all-out attack. Excuse me. The idea here is maybe we've discovered, I've used this line before in my previous Let's Play, but maybe we've discovered that the Germans are in a nuclear missile development program, nuclear bomb development program, and we need to secure their capital as fast as possible. So let's just start, even if it requires throwing soldiers into the meat grinder, let's try to make a really strong push. That's also going to give me the time. Pressure is also going to make it a little more challenging for me, so could add some fun flavor to the game. Just working north to south, I don't think there's really anything we can do in the north, unfortunately. I am planning on just pushing out because why not, basically? There's no reason. If they're going to stay in Lorient, it looks like they're just holding their lines. So we might as well just start capturing all this forest. Presumably, if we didn't bring this series to a close, we would keep pushing all the way, you know, eventually over to Tiver. I don't know how to pronounce that, I'm so sorry. And, you know, all these other Krasen, you know, cities. Once we take Lorient, I'm pretty sure that that's already sufficient, but not that we'll necessarily get there. However, so let's push my engineer forward and get him to build one more road. The idea here is I want the line to connect directly to Lorient, which means I want him to move exactly where this guy is, which is going to be just simply impossible this turn. So actually what we'll probably do is push this guy back. We can probably just dive bomb him into submission. But hey, we got some artillery. Let's give them a little bit of experience instead. Ooh. So it looks like actually we have two different targets. Do we need to keep my artillery split up all over the place? Well, one thing we see is that, whoa, that is surprising actually. Because of this road, we actually have supply here. Okay, well let's send this troop across the river then and see what kind of supply we have. Whoops. There we go. I hit F6 instead of F5, which toggles the unit counters. Yeah, so we don't have supply beyond this line. And we're gonna need that eventually. So probably what we'll end up doing is we'll still connect this line from Lorient eventually, but for the time being we're just going to have to push the line out into this swamp. I don't see any other and if we have it here, this will certainly all be in supply. Did that even help? Maybe that actually helped a little bit. Still no? 34. Yeah, it's still not good. Well, that's fine. Let's go ahead and bombard this unit. We'll probably use the weaker artillery. If they don't kill everyone, well, they didn't. But they still have 50 action points. Actually, what I'm going to do instead of continuing the bombardment is just move them forward. And now we can continue the bombardment, which is just 2 rounds to eliminate them. 2, didn't get it done, that's fine. They're at 0 readiness, I'm sure they are. So let's do the bombardment here. We have no idea what's here. It's staff, I guess. And again, we're gonna see a real drop off of their, we can't even move forward, so that means we'll just bombard again. And we killed another one. Now, these are pretty easy targets for our airplanes, but I don't want to expend our air cover unless I absolutely have to. We could encounter some Russian units eventually, and then, it'll be in our best interest to have a lot of interceptors or dive bombers ready to go. So here's some more artillery. I think we'll move this artillery forward and bombard these guys as well. Okay, we probably don't need to double bombard. Oh, we don't want these guys to bombard. That's actually a sizable unit count. I mean, I'm a little surprised. I think we might actually want to use a dive bomber group here. Let me check out the dive bomber supply back at Velberg. Ah, yes. So actually, technically, I've done something off camera. At the beginning of this turn, this is just the turn after our previous turn. So what we did in the previous turn, everything, remember there was this armored car unit down here. They actually moved north here, and I decided just to dive bomb them into oblivion. So I did that off camera, unfortunately, but that just expended the 5 here, and I think the 1 dive bomber. Yeah, the 1 dive bomber that's part of my Supreme headquarters. Which is fine. It means that nobody's able to push up to Marseille, but I think we can sacrifice maybe 1 dive bomber. It's not necessary. We have so many good forces here. Let's just attack with, for example, this is swamps. We're not going to get our armor involved, but we can attack with our anti-tank unit. Although they're not ideally suited for this. In fact, we can even attack with the machine gun unit. No, let's save them for the forest. Here it's actually good that we have these machine gun units. So, okay, so let's do this attack then. I think they're worn down enough. Okay, let's just do... We have another artillery unit who can be additional support here. So let's move like this, just to get them pretty far forward, and then use the 5 remaining turns to bombard. Whoops! No! I blew it. I attacked with these guys. That's very unfortunate. I tried to hit escape at the end there just to prevent it. Okay, now I think it's a little dangerous just to move all the way over there. So let's hold off for a second. How far can these guys get? Yeah, they're not going to be able to get that far. We'll push them as far as they can, just because I think that's where we're going to want to end up going anyway. Then probably like this. River crossing is going to be very difficult for any enemy units to partake in. So let's do this. Okay, I dip-dap. Okay, I guess let's move here. That's good. That's a good sign. So that means this unit can push forward 1 more. The fact that we're not conquering this hex leads me to believe that there is an enemy force here. Now these guys have 0 readiness left. That means they shouldn't be a threat, but we'll see. Okay, good, they aren't. Do we want to move in? I think we actually do. And it's really good information to see that we will lose supply if we go over there. So we're going to need our engineers, which it looks like I've already used. I'll push these guys forward anyway, just to conquer the territory. So actually now that means that we can go around, so it opened up our supply path. That's really good news. So I can probably get in here with some of my machine gunners. Yes. And in fact, that's what we're going to do. So basically just have all the machine gunners move out and leave just the headquarters probably to protect Rune. I think that's what we want to do. Okay, you can only move here because of enemy territory and enemy zone of control, but if we're able to attack that guy, I think we're just going to have to sacrifice one of our dive bombers. Let's take the weakest one. Okay, yeah, that's really sad. And I think that same dive bomber should have enough to attack again. Wow, perfect. That actually worked out really well. We eliminated 2 zones of control. And this guy has 20. Obviously, he's not going to be able to do anything with that, but that's okay. Alright, so now these guys can get, perfect, 1 further. That's very good. And we're starting to encounter Russian forces again. Yeah, they're starting to dot the landscape. Still, that's not turning green. So maybe what we can do is move here to secure that, and then move here to stay in supply. Yep. And this is really where submachine guns are going to thrive, so what do we want to do with our armor? Just push them to the front? We can push them here. I think that they'll still be in supply if they go there. Oh wow, we've really found them now. Okay, well let's support our tanks. Yeah, those guys are in good supply. We know we're probably going to build a bridge here next turn, as long as, because whatever moves in here, it won't be an armored car, and then we can just attack it with the infantry. And it's only a stream, it's not a river, so we should be okay. Let's get the infantry into position to do that, though. 2 there, 2 there. Probably we want 1 here. I'm not sure we'll be able to move there and still attack. I doubt we will, in fact, but that's okay. I think we want the anti-tank on this side, just to secure that plains area. And we'll move this heavy armor into here just to defend our river crossing. Yeah, we'll move lots of infantry in there. Okay, so now we can try to move these guys as far forward as possible, which I guess is here. Very good. It's kind of nice moving all these guys forward. Stampede of forces. Moving out. Alright, so we want to make sure that yellow is covering this area as well. We know that this area is all green, so let's get this guy as far as possible. Looks like he can cross here. That's good. So let's do that. He's out of movement. This guy now has more movement because we eliminated his zone of control threat. And is probably best used to secure the forest, I would say. Yeah, now we even have identified what this unit is. Lots of low readiness armored cars. That's obviously going to be the mission for our 2 medium tanks. Can they both attack? Yes. Good. We're going to have a similar problem with our red headquarters. Where do we move them? Like, it seemed very obvious to move our yellow headquarters into ruin, but where does our red headquarters go? Because we want to move forward with the action here, but without moving too far away from Laval. I think we'll move all the way up here even, just presuming that our lines will hold. Yeah, and this is going to be green's territory anyway, so it's basically yellow and red, and then everyone else, everything south of this big river should be green. Currently that's not the case. There's a little bit of overlap. We didn't get perfectly organized, but we're getting there. And this machine gun is lucky enough to be able to start moving into the forest. We definitely want that. This guy still thinks he can move, but he can't. Alright, with this group I think we just push them as far forward as possible, and that means it's going to create like overcrowding in this hex. But that's okay, we'll deal with it for 1 turn. It's going to be fine. I think I still push, like, this is a big question. It seems useful to defend along, like, these, like, outcroppings. Not with anti-tank weapons, though, no. With this kind of unit, yes. And this guy can get, ooh, he can jump across the river, which I think is not good. Yeah, not good. So let's put him here, and that means this anti-tank gun can move all the way forward. Let's move this artillery forward as well. And then they can bombard, or actually, yeah, it would cost 70 to move there, and then they can actually bombard. I'm going to split these guys up, just because I kind of botched this, but we don't need more than one artillery unit to bombard this guy. He's just going to just tank right away. And we can't still, oh, we can still get there, but that would be without any, we do have artillery still in here. Okay, yeah, let's just do it. We messed up a little bit, but one of these guys is still going to be able to do an artillery bombardment. Yeah, it's only 3 rounds, but it's something. Anything to weaken up the unit before our tanks come in. Because if we're lucky, this is very important, the crossroads, it's very important for us to hold. I guess that's the next step. Let's just push forward and do that. I was considering dive bombing this unit first. I mean, 21 armored cars, good God. But it would be better to save our dive bombers for, well, let's just see. Can these guys be dive bombed? Yes, by even the ones in the very back. So what I'm saying is true. We want to push these guys out of the forest so that we get the full effect from our dive bombers. Wow, that was instantaneous, total annihilation. Well, we really can't ask for more than that. And although I'm leaving my supply route a little bit in jeopardy, a little bit vulnerable, I think this is still the right decision to push up because this crossroads is, I mean, again, it's not a full crossroads, it's really more of a junction. But it's really critical. For us to hold this, we hold the keys to Lorient, basically. And we can do some serious dive bombing on these guys if we want, in order to open up Lorient for the next turn. And hey, this is even going to give us access to another aircraft factory, which is spectacular. Alright, now we have this infantry unit. I think they're better off to head south and to connect with one of the different headquarter groups. Because we're pretty saturated in our front over here. I don't think we need these guys, what I'm trying to say. Especially because we actually have 2 of them. So we'll keep the less experienced one and send the more experienced one to the front where it needs the most work, which is the German-Russian front. The French-Russian front, even though the French are gone, that's still what I'll call this. It's pretty easy to tell what I'm talking about that way. Yeah, it's going to be the easiest front to push over. So we'll just move all these guys forward just as far as they can go. And this engineer, hopefully next turn, will be able to build a little bridge over this way as well. Because we did want it this way, actually, huh? So we are actually going to need this engineer to do 2 things at once, which he obviously cannot do. But building a bridge this way should open up supply. Not really, huh? This is a tough situation. I guess it'll have to be this way. And we'll have to push these units far enough forward that they don't need supply from here. And this engineer will still eventually build this road, because that's the fastest way from Lorient to Brune. And that would be a good connection for us to have. Alright. Neither of these guys have the capacity to attack, so we'll just sit them there. They're in great shape. But just to prevent some counterattacks, we definitely will be doing some dive bombing. So we'll grab the 184. No, I think I'm going to grab the 190 for this group. Fantastic. And let's get the not 190 for this group. Let's get the 184. I think that'll be fine. Ooh, lots of artillery. I'm glad we did this. Whoa, we are eliminating all of them, though. It's very interesting. I wonder... Oh, so their readiness was higher. I wonder why the other readiness was really low. Last but not least, we saved our 193 for this big hex over here. And for good reason. We might even do a follow-up attack. Okay, good. Then I guess that's everything we wanted to do in the north. And I actually want to kind of keep these episodes a little bit shorter. So I'm going to do a quick episode 40, just in the northern part. It's only half an episode, I know, but let's just take it easy, kind of roll through this. Since I'm not setting that 40 episode limit on myself, which is, unnecessary. Let's just go ahead and roll it nice and slow. So, let's do one more dive bomb here, and then I'll call it to a close. I think we have... No, we don't have any other units up here available, so I'm still going to steal the red, the 188 over here. So I think this is a useful hex to dive bomb. Lots of vulnerable units, lots of killing to happen. That was very useful. So I think that with these numbers, we can kind of justify that action. Okay, so what I'll do is just save this or call this episode to a close here, and we'll make our movements with the southern half of the river in the next episode. Thanks for watching, and I'll just see you very shortly in the next episode.